Big news today, as a brand new cruise line will be sailing from South Florida in April of 2022. That's right, tickets are already on sale for this brand new cruise line being put out by a world-famous resort operator. Norwegian Cruise Lines is making changes to their masking and their testing policy in response to the incident aboard the Norwegian Breakaway. Plus, the Port of Tampa Bay will see a new cruise ship restarting operations today. And Port Canaveral, Florida, they're doing so well that their CEO is receiving a massive raise. All this coming up on Midships. Hey, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. Well, we're officially just now 2 days away from my next cruise aboard the Carnival Mardi Gras. I am so excited to hop on board Mardi Gras. Now, if you'd like to follow along with me on that cruise or any of the cruises I take, why don't you subscribe to the Midships Instagram account? I'll go ahead and link it down below. It's pretty easy. Just search for Midships Cruise. One word, you should find it right away. Now let's hop into today's cruise news with a story coming out of the Port of Tampa Bay. From cruiseindustrynews.com, the Norwegian Dawn kicks off the Tampa program as the 10th NCL ship back in service. Norwegian Dawn is welcoming guests back today as the 10th vessel to resume commercial operations for Norwegian Cruise Line. The 2002 built ship is also marking the company's return to home port operations in Tampa after a 21-month break. Through April, the Dawn is set to offer 15 cruises from the port, sailing to the Bahamas, Western, Eastern, and Southern Caribbean. Originally ordered for Star Cruises, Norwegian Dawn entered service in 2002 and is a sister to the Norwegian Star. She can carry up to 2,200 guests in double occupancy. This German-built ship also introduced the concept of hall art, a feature that was later added across the entire NCL fleet. Back in 2016, the Dawn underwent an extensive revitalization as part of the Norwegian Edge program, which aimed to elevate the standard of the NCL fleet. In addition to the Dawn, the Norwegian Pearl is also slated to resume operations later this month on December 23rd when she resumes operations out of Miami. So it's nice to hear a little bit of good news coming out from Camp NCL. As many of you know, the Norwegian Breakaway has been making news for all the wrong reasons over the past few days, so I think it's important to balance that out with some great restart news coming out of the Port of Tampa. Oh wait, what's that? You saw like a palm tree and like a ship's funnel on this shirt? Huh, I wonder what that could be. Maybe I'll give you one sneak peek. All I gotta say about that is we've got some exciting things in the works for the channel, so make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss any big announcements in the coming weeks. Let's go ahead and keep the Florida news rolling and head over to the East Coast to Port Canaveral. From Orlando Sentinel by Richard Trebow. Cruise business climbs in Port Canaveral as the CEO pay is upped to over $500,000. The cruise industry's increasing cadence continues to keep Port Canaveral activity climbing, and the port CEO is getting a raise to over $500,000. The port welcomed the first revenue sailing in more than 15 months when Carnival's new ship Mardi Gras set sail on July 31st, and has since welcomed 12 more ships with passengers back to the port. In November, Norwegian Cruise Line made its return, joining Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Disney, and MSC as the 5 major lines calling the port home. Port CFO Michael Poole was quoted as saying, "Through the end of November, we had 690,000 cruise passengers, and you'll see that in every month it's going up 40 to 50,000. Port Canaveral recently saw some ship replacements, including the MSC Meraviglia taking over service for the MSC Divina, and Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas replacing the Allure of the Seas. Also coming up will be the busiest port day since the pandemic shutdown and the restart. December 26th will see a total of 6 cruise ships in port at the same time. So it's great to hear that Port Canaveral continues to get busier and busier, and in fact, I'll be there in just a couple of days. Well, if you've ever heard the saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you've probably been to one of Jimmy Buffett's Margaritavilles. But did you know that Jimmy Buffett is now eyeing the cruise industry? Let's learn a little bit more from cruiseradio.net by Sarah Bretz. Jimmy Buffett launches cruise line and rebrands a ship. There's big news out of Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville today. The singer, songwriter turned businessman's brand is rebranding and launching a cruise ship that should already be familiar to Palm Beach residents. When the Port of Palm Beach's only cruise ship relaunches on April 30th, it will be the world's first Margaritaville branded cruise ship. Which cruise ship is it, you might ask? It's none other than the Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line's Grand Classica, which is known for its short runs between Palm Beach and Freeport, Bahamas. The vessel will be renamed Margaritaville Paradise, and Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line will become Margaritaville at Sea. And here we have our first look at the newly rebranded Margaritaville Paradise. You can see she's sporting her Paradise logo, where it's always 5 o'clock, and changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes, all of the familiar Margaritaville branding. The deal was announced Wednesday at the port and is a partnership between Bahamas Paradise and Margaritaville Enterprises. Once it's rebranded, the ship will continue to offer 2-night cruises between Palm Beach and Freeport, with the goal of bringing the laid-back tropical lifestyle and state of mind evoked in Buffett's songs to the 1,600-passenger ship. Margaritaville CEO John Colin said the following: "Margaritaville at Sea will be a new, exciting, and fun way for guests to escape and vacation in Margaritaville. From oceans to lakes, Margaritaville has an organic tie to water, and with Margaritaville at Sea, we're able to put our iconic lifestyle, resort experiences, and elevated service directly on the sea." And here we have our first look at one of the renderings for the cabins inside of the Margaritaville Paradise cruise ship. Bahamas Paradise is spending tens of millions of dollars on redesigning, rebranding, and reworking everything on board the ship, from surface-level furnishings to electronics and rebranded venues. The ship's bars will be redesigned as Margaritaville bars, with the Rock Bar becoming 5 o'clock somewhere, the main dining room, Yellow Elder, will become Finn's, and the Admiral's Steakhouse will be called JWB Prime Steak and Seafood. The cruise line also has plans to create a beach experience for passengers in the Bahamas, such as an exclusive Margaritaville Beach Club. After the cruise industry shut down, the ship began sailing again in July, resuming its normal schedule of round-trip cruises to Freeport. Last week, though, it entered into dry dock for the Margaritaville redesign. And if you'd like to book a cruise aboard the newly rebranded Margaritaville Paradise, all you have to do is head over to margaritavillatSea.com. So there you have it. I'm pretty sure that this will be the first new U.S. cruise brand since the pandemic shutdown. And if the Paradise turns out to be anything like the other Margaritaville resorts that I've stayed in the past, I think it's going to be a fantastic offering. Now we need to set our sights onto the Norwegian Breakaway, because what's happened over the last couple of days may have major implications going forward for the brand. But right now we're going to look specifically at the Breakaway in an article coming out of cruisecritic.com that details some of the ways Norwegian is specifically responding on board the Breakaway. By Fran Golden, Norwegian Cruise Line ship changes COVID testing, masking requirements after Omicron variant was discovered. All passengers and crew returning to New Orleans December 5th after a 1-week Western Caribbean sailing on the Norwegian Breakaway were tested for COVID before they were allowed to disembark. The move, which is new for cruise lines coming and going from a U.S. port, followed the discovery of what the cruise line is calling a handful of COVID asymptomatic cases amongst guests and crew. But the reason for concern, one of the cases, a South African crew member, is suspected of being the Omicron variant. The cruise line immediately instituted new rules for guests who opted to board the ship on the next sailing, which embarked the following day. Norwegian said they must now wear masks while indoors, except while actively eating or drinking, and they'll be tested twice throughout the cruise. According to a statement to Cruise Critic, guests on the sailing were also offered the opportunity to cancel without any penalty. The positive cases were found during a 1-week sailing, which embarked from the Big Easy, New Orleans, on November 28th and visited Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Roatan, Honduras. And now let's hear what the CDC has to say about the cases on Norwegian Breakaway. The CDC made the following statement: "We are aware of COVID-19 cases among crew members and passengers on Norwegian Breakaway. CDC has been working with Norwegian Cruise Lines to gather more information about the case and possible exposures, and the ship collected specimens for genetic sequencing at CDC's laboratory. The CDC worked with NCL, Louisiana Department of Health, the City of New Orleans, and the Port of New Orleans to enact existing COVID-19 agreements and protocols with the cruise line." And a spokesperson for Norwegian Cruise Line said the following: "We will never compromise on health and safety, and we will of course continue to take all appropriate action to ensure everyone's well-being and to protect public health." So in the end, it sounds like all of the cases that were found on the Norwegian Breakaway ended up being asymptomatic, which is probably a result of everyone on board that ship being fully vaccinated. So all in all, it sounds like things are probably going to be okay for everybody that came down with COVID aboard the Breakaway. We wish all of you a speedy recovery and hope that everything gets back to normal for you very, very soon. If you made it this far into today's episode, why haven't you subscribed to the channel yet? While you're down there, make sure you hit a big thumbs up on this video so YouTube will push this out to other cruisers like yourself. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today, and until tomorrow, We'll see ya on the Midships. La 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 la.